Morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever may be the case. Again, you know who I am. I've been saying it before. This is me, Cecil Young, coming to you live and in color from Soundview Media here in Stratford, Connecticut. And again, as I said before, I've come here with the truth and nothing but the truth. It's almost like what Michael Jackson said. This is almost like the final act of what I should have to produce to show y'all. But I hope that I don't end up like Michael Jackson because I want to continue living on. But I say this because of the fact that when you look at it, there's not that many that can have past history being brought up and show like I'm going to show y'all today. And I hope to God that that I've shown enough that you can be able to look into the archives with Soundview Media and also go to YouTube 7 days a week. That's right, Monday through Sunday. I have over 45 to 50 shows that I've done here in Soundview for the last 3 years. I've paid for it, the producer paid for the production of those who have been involved in helping me to put this show together. Now you say, why would I spend my dollars to tell this story? I spend it because, again, I could afford it to one degree because I have to afford it. And if I don't, shame on me. Yes, I'm not rich, I don't have it like that. But I do have a few dollars from my pension, from my Social Security, enough to say, Cecil, why would you spend the kind of money you spend? Why would you let them do what they did to you and your family and just let this go? Even though you know you've been stressed out, you've been burnt out, you've been pulled out, you're stressed with cash and all the above, you're still spending your money on a show, and you say to yourself, why are you doing it? I'm doing it because the truth needs to be told. You know, I look at the fact that a lot of our folks talk about our ancestors in terms of them in the past, going through slavery and the land that was taken from them back in the days by those folks who were controlling the land in them days, when the lynching was allowed, when it was illegal to lynch a person and no big deal about it, and take their property, no big deal about it, and whatever else they want to do. Well, I say the laws have changed, and the laws have changed, and we say that we look into the archives to try to pull up stuff to show where we were wrong at, and we can't find it because it was never recorded. Not for our advantage to be able to go at and prove, but this here is proof that you can record. This is proof that's being recorded about what they're doing to a modern day brother who's in the hood, who's tried to do good for his people for the last 50-something years. And I'm saying that, yes, this is going to be on the archives with Soundview Media, showing y'all that I, Cecil Young, was what you call had been put up to be labeled as according to the records, it will be shown that he has a modern day lynching. What? Not by a rope, but by a pen, and by people that look like you and him. And it's a shame and a disgrace that I can be persecuted for the things that I spoke out about, such as what I spoke about here. Contaminated dirt piles at a health department building that was just tore down last month, ripped out of the ground, tore up a brand new health department building that was rehabbed back then. These were part of the piles from that building that I was talking about. Now they tore the rest of that building down now. And the reason why they tore it down now, because I understand that another person came down with cancer because of that building. It was called a sick building back then, and that's the reason why it was tore down now, I believe. Let's check the records out. It's not about just me and we, it's about our people, our community, being played on, being taken advantage of. The building that was on 752 East Main Street is now wiped out, is gone, like it was never there before. But there's been a number of people that have died, as I've been told over the years. Harold Fair used to be the director of welfare. He's gone. Josephine's gone. Cancer again. Those folks who died from cancer. A number of other folks that have came down with cancer I've heard over the past that worked in that building. Good folks. A sick building it was called back then, but no one really believed me and believed what I was saying. But God knows maybe he will bring that out down the road. But for the time being, these are things that you can look into the archives and see if it was really true or not. Like all of the other exhibits I will be giving you today, is whether or not it was true or not about what I've been saying. Now I say to you again, I'm going to show you information, okay, that the city of Bridgeport covered up my unjust termination by lying on me. Okay, like for an example, Janine Hawkins lying to the U.S. Attorney's Office saying what? What was she saying about me, my dear? What was she saying about me?
Yes. This letter is from the Office of Labor Relations, and this was written on March 22nd, 2018 to the U.S. State Attorney. Complaint from Cecil Young, to whom it may concern. This correspondence is being delivered in response to a letter that was delivered to your office from Mr. Cecil Young. I am enclosing correspondence delivered and received on behalf of Mr. Young. My office has completed the investigation into Mr. Young's complaint. it appears that Mr. Young is dissatisfied with the outcome of the same. After a thorough investigation into Mr. Young's complaint, it is my conclusion that the city and the union act properly in the determination of his employment. I would like to take this opportunity to request that this matter be registered into your database as closed.
Isn't that a shame that this attorney, a minority attorney that would literally sit up here and lie and give the impression of me being a disgruntled employee about those contaminated dirt piles that I just pointed out to you? Again, look at what the other letter says about the other parties pertaining to what, it's like it's a shame. Why would Jeannie A. Hawkins say what she says? Okay, and pass on this information.
Yes, it's the same date, dated March 22nd, 2018, addressed to you, Cecil Young. Dear Mr. Young, this correspondence is a follow-up to the letter that I sent to you at the request and courtesy of City Councilman Ernest Newton on February 8th, 2018. Councilman Newton's request was that I review your termination from the City of Bridgeport. After a thorough review of the documents submitted on your behalf and the retrieval of other documents from the Archive Department, it is my conclusion and assessment that the city and the union act properly and followed all policy and procedures in your termination. It has been determined that the ruling in your termination was justified and lawful. We wish you much success in all your future endeavors.
And that's a shame, shame, shame. It's a shame and it's an amazing that people can literally sit up here and lie on someone who've been working with the city for 27 and a half years. Okay, there people say anything, and it's so sad, as much as we went through the fight for people of color to be in positions of authority, and to know that they get in a position, they act worse than the person that was so-called keeping us in bondage in the beginning. And when you look down here at the U.S. Attorney General's office, okay, in terms of me sending it even to them as well, okay, what was their response to my matter pertaining to this situation?
Yes, the letter is from the Office of the Attorney General, written by Antoria D. Howard, who is the Assistant Deputy Attorney General. Dear Mr. Young, we are writing in response to your October 4th inquiry. You are requesting any and all correspondence concerning your complaint number C-09-1268, which was the complaint number provided to you by former Assistant Attorney General Arnold Mitchell back in 2009. It appears that your complaint related to a whistleblower allegation. Under the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act, the records relating to the whistleblower investigation are exempt from disclosure. The applicable provision in Connecticut General Statute 1-210B13, also given the date of your complaint, such records may have been destroyed pursuant to the state of Connecticut retention policy. Accordingly, we do not believe that we have any records relating to your 2009 complaint. And if such records still exist, they will be exempt and could not be disclosed.
Isn't that amazing? Let me know, regardless, even if they do find them, they're going to still be exempt from not being disclosed, even if they broke the law? I don't think so. Could you reflect on the last one that I have up here, my dear?
Yes, this was dated July 14, 2022, and it's written to Attorney General William Tung. Dear Attorney Tung, I am writing you briefly again, including additional documentation to your office since your department has reached a dead end concerning my complaints. Please review the documents enclosed carefully, as they should prove my unjust termination. For example, when you review the court transcript, you will see that the Judge Richardson was not impartial. So yes, I am still in pursuit to clear my name. Just to reiterate, this issue is not about black or white, but right and wrong. I am looking to your office to make a claim against this crime of injustice so others would not be easy prey of this same magnitude. If there is something I am not sending you to clear my name, please let me know. I have overwhelming documents and audio that can be used to support my claim in federal/Supreme Court. Please review and get back to me. Still seeking justice.
And that's why I said, thank God that I'm an American citizen, that we do have due processes in here that folks have to go through whether they like it or not. And what's so beautiful about this is that Attorney General Blumenthal, okay, had assigned this Assistant Attorney General Mitchell, who did a heck of a job. He did so much of a heck of a job that it caused me to be able to get this information finally to the state auditors who did their findings pertaining to this matter, okay? And it amazes me, okay, that the state auditors, okay, all right, apparently felt like this matter needed to be investigated. Why did it need to be investigated? Because of what Mr. Murphy said. You know, Mr. Murphy said that I came in with literally strips of paper. My doctor's signature was unillegible. That the doctor was never treating me for what I was complaining about. How dare these folks up there at the State Labor Board, all right, chairmen on that department, in terms of termination department, would sit there and lie on me, John Doe's public. How dare they? And what even insults me to have Mike Cohad, see Mike Cohad, look at his name here. He was a part of this termination board. He agreed with him. See, there's 3 people that votes on these matters. 2 of them decided to rule against me and went in favor with the city, and Mike Cohen was a part of that. Now that means that terminated employees have a right to their benefits if they file a grievance in a timely fashion, which apparently I did. Okay, which I will show you as I've shown you before. And if you look at the 40 or 50 shows that I've shown over the last 3 years, you will see everything that I'm saying here today is pretty well the same thing. Every document that I'm showing here today is pretty well the same thing. You know that old saying is that once a liar lies, he just keeps on expanding on his lie because the lie never stays the same. And that is the way the game is played with somebody that's constantly lying. But in my case, you will find that I have overwhelming evidence in black and white proving that that is not the case here with me. And thank God this Assistant Attorney General Mitchell. Now you say to me, now the state auditors did their findings, okay, and they did it within a year's time. They did it within a year's time. Look at what the state auditors found out within that year's time. Look what the state auditors found out. And they tell me basically they can't report their findings outright, okay? It's been turned over to the Attorney General's office. And these are the people that were involved in this cover-up information, seeing if whether or not it's justifiable. Now, let's reflect on that. Go ahead.
We can.
Mic falling down on me? Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Give me my mic on the floor. Don't let that happen. All right, I got it in my hand for now. I'm sorry. Again, this is the Assistant Attorney General Mitchell. Did I get a Mitchell in the beginning and all the above? Because I'll do that over again if need be. So let me do it over again if necessary. As I said before, this was the Assistant Attorney General Mitchell, all right, who was the one who drew up this profile in terms of which gave the state auditors the impression that, yes, this Mr. Young apparently has something worthwhile pursuing. And what he did was he drew up and shown here, okay, that Albert Murphy apparently must be lying, or either Mike Cohen is lying on this man based on what he can see, based on the overwhelming evidence that I have given to him. He didn't just look at just this, he looked at overwhelming evidence that connects everything together. Now, Mike Cohen, as I said before, is down over here twice, all right? Twice. One for termination, which he agreed to get paid for on the part of the termination. And as I said before, terminated employees do not have a right to continue their benefits if they voluntarily resign. Okay? In my case, okay, I did not voluntarily resign. I was terminated. So I deserved to continue my medical benefits. And Mike Cohen knew that. Yet and still, he acted like he did not know anything about that in terms of saying other than using the excuse that, well, Murphy said. Not what Murphy said. You agreed with what Murphy said. That's why Murphy went along with the city, agreeing with the city was justifiable in terminating me, which you knew was a lie. Otherwise, why would you be on the medical board dealing with you getting paid 4 different times, $225, $150, $150, $150, which comes to $575, which you could have not, which you shouldn't have been paid not 1 penny, because you could have said point blank, there's no need of no hearing for him pertaining to him getting benefits or not. He voluntarily resigned. According to Murphy, if that was the case, all right, you should not be having these hearings. And if you did have these hearings, I want records showing what those hearings were about. Because as far as I'm concerned, I filed a grievance. My grievance said, okay, that I was unjustly terminated. Okay, and my grievance says to me, and my union contract said to the city, that union employees have a right to continue their medical benefits as long as they file a grievance within a timely fashion. That's what I did. Okay? And that's why I say to you, for the state auditors to do their findings, and within a year's time, based on what Mr. Mitchell said, okay, and why did he say that? He said it because of what I said. Now what I'm going to do is play you again, okay, the information pertaining to Attorney General's tongue.
Ain't that a shame that a woman of her stature, a black woman, a lawyer, will lie under oath and send a letter to the U.S. Attorney's Office telling them to disregard my complaint as a federal employee? I say to the man, shame on you if you don't lock her up for lying to you. Shame on you if you don't lock me up for lying to you. Lock one of us up, somebody got to go to jail. Somebody should go to jail. I'm not a liar. Ain't nothing I said I can't back up. I was at work on March 16, 2006. I have documentation in black and white. You will see what you go to the YouTube, what you go to Soundview, what you go to Greenhome. You will see in black and white evidence confirming what I've been saying. I'm not just saying what I'm saying to be saying. If they can do this to me, they'll do it to you. So if you're a whistleblower, you better keep your whistle to yourself. Huh? Especially if you're black. Now, and I'm saying whistleblowers I done heard about been white, and they made me insane. And even though General Tung says he can't disclose of anything, I ain't asked you to disclose of anything. All I said to you is that remove Gerald Wayner, Mike Cohan, Albert Murphy, remove them from the labor board because they were not fair and impartial. They showed their impartiality. Why? Because they committed fraud. And evidence will show that if you look at the auditor's report. Who were the two auditors that did the report?
Kevin P. Johnson.
Kevin P. Johnson.
And Robert G. Jackal.
And Robert G. Jackal. Now, these are two of the state auditors that were involved in making the decision in terms of the report that they got from the Assistant Attorney General Mitchell. Now, they gave their report in 2010. Now, we're in 2023. And you know what bothers me is that it was around 2015, I contacted at that time, I believe it was George Jefferson, might have been Attorney General at the time, and he told me at that time to contact Congressman Hines. And I knew very well something wasn't right there. He told me that Congressman Hines should be the one I should be contacting. Can you believe that? Attorney General Jefferson told me that. Cecil Young asked him that. Check the report to see what he told me pertaining to my file. That's why when they say now Attorney General Tung can't find anything pertaining to my complaint, that it might have got lost, it might have got missed. What did General Tung say after my complaint? Can you listen to what General Tung said? What could have happened to my complaint that I filed, that I put my life on the line for, that I put my wife's life on the line for, that I put my future wife on the line for? Listen to what the Attorney General Tung said.
Okay, this letter was dated November 2nd, 2021, addressed to you, and it's a reference to your complaint, the assigned public inquiry number as well as the complaint concerning Assistant Attorney Mitchell. Dear Cecil Young, we are writing in response to your October 4th inquiry. You are requesting any and all correspondence concerning your complaint number C-09-1268, which was the complaint number provided to you by former Assistant Attorney Arnold Mitchell back in 2009. It appears that your complaint related to a whistleblower allegation. Under the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act, the records relating to the whistleblower investigation are exempt from disclosure. The applicable provision in Connecticut General Statute 1-210B13, also given the date of your complaint, such records may have been destroyed pursuant to the state of Connecticut retention policy. Accordingly, we do not believe that we have any records relating to your 2009 complaint.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? There is no record pertaining to my complaint, even though several departments got my complaint, and they did their report. Even if General Tung can't find his findings from the Attorney General's office, why don't he ask the auditors what their status of their complaint was? Could he get a copy of their complaint? And then also, too, Attorney General Tung, can you investigate the allegation that I sent you, which is the same allegation that caused the Assistant Attorney General Mitchell probable cause to file this complaint on my behalf? Could you please look at that, and you will see that those folks that I mentioned, they violated civil rights and they also committed fraud. Could you please do that on behalf of the taxpayers? Attorney General Blumenthal, Senator Blumenthal, you come to everybody else's rescue. Could you come to mine? Help me clear up what they did not do on your behalf that you started on my behalf. Thank you, and God bless you. This world, I told her that I would let not her life be in vain. I would let not what she went through be in vain. She was a bookkeeper. She wasn't a writer. She wasn't a poet. She wasn't someone that had the kind of time to take the right letters to those people who were in power, those people that got authority to do the right thing. They didn't do it. They ignored her writing. They ignored her complaint. These complaints were filed by her and me. Mr. and Mrs. Young, her name at the time was Patricia Nichols and became Patricia Young. Why? Because I felt she was worthy of being who she was. And to take the stand that she took, even though that wasn't her cup of tea, she took it not just for me, but for you as well. And that is why I say to you, black man, white man, Puerto Rican man, Jewish man, help me, help you, help yourself. You're not going to get it like this from anybody else that I know of. And if you do, let me know that I need to follow somebody. I need to follow somebody that I can believe and that I can trust. I find myself alone in the valley of despair. And I'm saying, what does it take to get the kind of justice, the kind of support I need? All I need is one. One to give me the right, to stand up for my rights, to help me let them know that you can shut me up, but you won't shut me down. Like a seed being planted in the ground, I will rise again. You may cut me down again, but I will rise again. Why? Because you did not plant the seed. God is the one who planted me to do what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue doing that. And all I say to you, shame on those of them who are in the way of injustice. Yes, your day is coming. You may not think that your day is not coming. Your day is coming. You may persecute me today, but you better worry about you tomorrow. Or your tomorrow, future tomorrow, because God does not like ugly. He likes right and wrong versus right and wrong. He loves right. And I say, those of y'all who know right and wrong, what?
Okay. Now, as I said before, Gerald Weiner, chairman of the board, okay, he knew better, but yet still he allowed the cover-up to take place. Mike Coed went along with it, and he likewise knew as well. I asked Governor Malloy to respond to my request, which was to make them pay back the money that they received unnecessarily, because there was no need for no hearings pertaining to me so-called voluntarily resigning. They knew that. If that was the case, why did they have those hearings? There should have been one hearing confirming the fact either he voluntarily resigned or either he was terminated. Well, you've seen on the letter that I showed you in the beginning that I was terminated for not coming to work. All right, and terminated employees have a right to continue their benefits. That is the reason why we had those hearings. And to have them get paid those many times, okay, and not only to honor that, and the only reason why they honored it was after 3-4 years later after the fact, unbeknown to me, I didn't find out about that until 2024 that they honored it. And it was so-called given the impression that it was honored by the same two who so-called covered it up, Gerald Weiner and Mike Cohan. They both covered it up. And all of a sudden, here it is, some 8 years or 4 years later, they so-called sign off on like as if they approved it. No, I had met with about 15 or 14 other commissioners, okay, after meeting with them, not getting any result from them, and they were a part of that same board. Mike Cohen and Gerald Weiner was a part of that same board that I met with these other 12 or 14 other commissioners in Hartford, all right, which they claim to not act like there is such a board exists. There do exist another board that these members, they sit on. They sat on when I went up there with them in Hartford and met with them and discussed my concern. And one of the commissioners told me, because I was saying, you wonder why people would bug out and do the things that they would do. And one of the commissioners told me, Mr. Young, be careful about your language because, you know, you could be stepping on your boundary, going out It wasn't that I was trying to step on my mind. I'm trying to say to you that when you take advantage of people's rights and do what you do to them, people will bug out sometime. And yes, thank God I didn't bug out. And the reason why I didn't bug out, because I was being treated by psychiatrist Dr. Wainick, a clinical psychiatrist. For 20 years, I've been seeing Dr. Wainick because of what they done to me. They violated my civil rights after all I've done for this city for 27 and a half years, to be treated like a nobody, like my rights do not matter. Why not? I paid my dues to this city. I paid my tax to this city. I paid Attorney John Williams $10,000 to represent me in court. He promised that he would represent me as he would represent himself. I gave him $5,000 in the beginning at Superior Court on Main Street, all right, to represent me. He never showed up in court, not one time, not one time. I gave him another $5,000 after that, all right, to so-called deal with the matter on the appellate court level, all right. He would not show up even on the appellate court level after me telling him, pleading with him, John, please show up. They're going to throw my case out of court. He would not show up in New Haven. And I said to myself, what is it that these people got? And I had to wonder, what is it that Gerald Wayne and Mike Cohen got that would cause a lawyer after giving him $10,000 that would not represent his client as he promised he would? And I said, oh, I'm just one client. But when you look at them and them being lawyers, they got hundreds of clients that they deal with, that these people will rule over them and rule against them on other matters in the future. If they went against them and caused them to have to be charged with committing fraud or violating the public's trust by doing what they did to me. Huh? And they didn't want that on their blemish to be shown that they caused these other commissioners to be charged with crimes that they should have been charged with. They should still be charged with a crime for doing what they did to me. And I'm saying if they don't be charged, I say shame on the state of Connecticut, shame on the governor. And I say, Governor, you got this evidence in black and white showing you that they committed fraud, that they violated the public trust. You knew that I went to work. You have a time card, all of the above information confirming that. I will play audio tapes of the above matters, okay, of Dr. Evans and all the above, showing you that on March, 2006, I came to work. All right? You knew that. Yet still you ignored it. And for what? For what? Why did you ignore that? Let me play this here for you. Oh my God, I got so much stuff here that I got to pop out at you. I got to hold up for a minute. I want you to get it all because I don't want you to miss nothing. On the other 45 shows that I did, you'll be able to download those shows and you'll be able to hear everything that I've been saying. Listen to what Dr. Evans and them tried to do to me. Let me see, I got the wrong one in the wrong side. Hold on. Hold up, I'm gonna get it right, y'all. Forgive me.
Well,
Now you confirmed it, Dr. Evans confirmed he's coming back to work. You just heard Dr. Evans just stated that. Yet and still, because of the fear of the mayor, she changed the story. Enjoy it all.
show
basically, you all you all heard everything, you've seen everything. Again, I said, go to Soundview Media, Monday through Sunday. You can download at least 50 TV shows that I've done here at the studio. And I plead on YouTube as well, from Monday to Sunday, around the clock, at any time, any day, on your cell phone, at your house phone, or whatever you want on your TV station. You can download the Cecil Young Show. And I please ask you to do this because, again, this is me today. It could be you tomorrow. You know, I always wanted to know what it was like being persecuted. Being persecuted is nothing to really be proud about. But again, I'm proud about the fact that God allowed me to be used to point out the fact that here it is a person, an innocent person, who basically was framed and set up and persecuted for no reason, and to find people who so-called concerned about our past in terms of how they treated our ancestors. And I say to myself, here it is 2026. I want to know, how do they feel about me? Will they talk about me the same kind of way once they find out that I was persecuted and I was taken advantage of, my rights were violated? I want to know what those groups were that were concerned about our ancestors being violated and being taken advantage of. You had no records because there wasn't no records available for you to go to. Now you have records what have been done to me, Cecil Young, and I'm pleading with the public, John Doe. What they did to me, what they did to my family, it should never have happened. And I'm saying to you, the damage that I really want to tell you about what they did to my family is so overwhelmed in terms of how it affected my daughter. Can you imagine my daughter being told at 25 years old, 24 years old, that her mother's about ready to die? I didn't know that. My daughter was told that by her mother. I didn't know that. Can you imagine me knowing that she was telling my daughter that kind of stuff at that age? Okay, then I wonder why my daughter would bug out, why she have not recovered from this pressure that she was put up under, knowing that she was carrying that kind of burden on herself, and why she left for that moment because she had to get away because of the pressure that the thought of knowing that she had to go through, knowing that her mother was about ready to die because of me taking the time from her, that she should have been spending with her, all that time that she was spending with me night after night, day after day, smoking cigarettes, writing letters against the system that had violated my rights. And yes, she stood by her man. She did what she's supposed to do, as I stood by her. And that's why I'm standing by my ancestors and my kids to say that what they did to me, even if I don't get the reparation, even if they do kill me, I want you to get what I left behind, because your mother sacrificed her life to help me prove the point that what they did to me was wrong, and what they did to me so that it will never happen to anyone else again. We are in America, and I say to you, God bless America. And that's why I say, if we're concerned about the immigrants' rights, why not be concerned about those of us who are American? I am an American, born and raised here in the city of Bridgeport. I am 75 years old. I will be 76 April 6th. Okay, and I'm saying to you, don't do me no favors. I'm not asking anybody to look out for me. I'm saying just expose what they did to me. I'm asking the Connecticut Post, the Bridgeport Post, that used to be the Bridgeport Post that helped made me who I am today. I'm saying to those who took over the Connecticut Post, in the name of the Connecticut Post, now that you are now in Norwalk, don't forget about those from Bridgeport who helped made the Bridgeport Post in order for the Connecticut Post to be allowed to expand itself to Norwalk. What about me, Cecil Young, who you had no problem with over the years, the Connecticut Post, the Bridgeport Post, related to the people who lived in the city and looked out for the people who lived in this city. And I'm saying to you, I care about this city. I care about this state. And I'm saying that we got state officials who violated the public trust, who committed fraud. And I say to you and whoever listening to this show, why won't they sue me, Cecil Young? I own my own home. That's all I own, my own home. And it's paid for. It's worth $400,000 to $500,000. I say to the mayor, to the governor, to Gerald Wayner, Mike Cohead, Jody Paul, Dr. Evans, sue me, Cecil Young. Take me and my daughter out of my house. Strip me and my wife from out of my house. My new wife, in terms of what she's got to go through in terms of dealing with the same situation. I should not have to bear this burden alone. And I'm saying, as a taxpayer, as a homeowner, don't do me no favor. I say go to Soundview Media 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Call your friend, call your neighbors, because anybody in Connecticut who heard about this program that ain't responding to it, I say shame on you. But for those of you who heard about it, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, it is time to wake up and smell the coffee. We just lost one of the greatest leaders in our own time. Who was that I'm talking about? The Reverend Jesse Jackson. I am somebody. I may not be what you want me to be. I may not be on the level that you want me to be, but I am somebody. And I say to you, whomever you may be, black, white, Jewish, whatever it may be, call on me at this time to help me so I can begin to carry the legacy that Dr. King and Jesse Jackson and Adam Clayton Powell and Malcolm X and all of those who sought and stood up for those of us, the Elijah Muhammad and the Minister Farrakhan, all of those who stood about right and wrong, and the Kennedys and all the above. Help me, help you, help ourselves. We can save America. But we got to teach people what they need to know. Teach them how to fish instead of handing and reaching out for somebody to bless them. Teach them how to fight for themselves so that we don't have to beg and have to count on anybody else to fish for us. Teach us how to fish so that we can survive this flood that's coming against us. Armageddon is coming. The flood is coming, and our people are not ready for the flood. And I say to those of us who want to save America, want to save our community, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to get worse than it's ever been. If we don't wake up and smell the coffee, it's going to be too late. So I say, please again, call your friend, tell your neighbor to tune in to the Cecil Young Show on Soundview Media here in Stratford, Connecticut. Our people are conditioned, they are programmed, they're afraid to speak against the Pharaoh because he blessed them. Our next week's show will be showing you the leaders that we had in the city of Bridgeport that we met with, which was called the Citizens Committee, who gave into the mayor, who gave into the powers that be. And that is why I, again, have lost everything I had because I had the biggest mouth. I had the only one that had no problem speaking up and speaking out. I got 1 minute left, and I'm saying for this 1 minute I got left, keep in mind that I lost my sheriff job. I lost my housing authority job. I lost my supervisor job with supervising overtime police. Check it all out on Soundview Media here in Stratford, Connecticut. Thank you very much for listening to the Cecil Young Show. And may till the next time, God continue to bless you and yours as well. Have a good day.